So yesterday I asked all of you out there to send me some recommendations, as you can see here on the screen, and I had a lot of responses. There is absolutely a lot of recommendations here, a lot of good series that I personally want to sit down and dedicate some time to, and I thank all of you guys for the recommendations you gave me. But there was one series that was recommended to me, and I instantly wanted to read it, and that is this series right here, Karsearin Adventures of a Red Dragon. Now, the reason why this series piqued my interest is because, for one, as you all know, I've been really gassing up and lighting up, like, Ruri Dragon. I'm a big fan of Ruri Dragon, a recent manga and weekly Shonen Jump, and, I really love the theme of it. I recently have become more and more inclined to read dragon theme series. Like, I want stories or just series, etc. about dragons, and obviously, when I saw this series, I saw, for instance, like, the picture here for this series is like, this is definitely something that I want to read. And so, for all of you out there that recommended me to give this one a shot, I appreciate it greatly. So anyways, obviously it's about dragons, but what is it really about? Like, what's actually the plot going on with the story, etc. So currently there is 5 chapters out. You can read it right now. However, apparently on the Korean side, there is actually 105 chapters for this series, but we're just waiting for them to be transferred to WEBTOON to, be translated. So it's a very early series, at least in, English translation. But obviously, it's a series that's been going on for a while to have, 105 chapters. It's been going on since, August 9th, 2020. And, I mean, that's quite a bit. So, I want to dedicate some time to, talk about the series and if it might be something that interests you. Because I want to be honest with you. I read all 5 of these chapters, as you can see. And it says right here there's 5 more chapters on the app. And I went out of my way and already read those. I put coins in and I read it because I was very interested in just the series. Like I said, I've been kind of a dragon fan recently in terms of just stories around it. And I needed to know more. Now, the series, for the most part, it starts off basically in a remote setting. You get to see, fantasy creatures like orcs, etc. And eventually, in the middle of it, they talk about, a dragon cave, etc. And this is basically our main character. This dragon right here, that is called Aaron, or Karsearin, if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. But basically, this dragon is having a rampage in chapter 1. And the reason for that is because this individual is trying to read a book. And obviously, if you're a dragon with giant hands and claws, it's going to be hard reading a book. The only reason why this individual, our main character, is able to read the book, though, is because obviously they have great eyesight and they're just taking so much time and patience to be able to actually read said book. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, what is the book actually about, etc. Well, the book is a magical book that has different spells, etc. And this dragon here, our main character, Aaron, wants to learn a polymorph spell, aka an ability to transform their body. And basically, the transformation they want is to be able to turn into a human right here, as you could see. And the reason for that is because they want to go on an adventure. I mean, literally the series title is called, Karsearin Adventures of a Red Dragon. Basically, the main character, a male character, by the way. I know that many will look at this character and say that's a female character, but actually it is a male character. Just want to make sure I clarify that. But, anyways, the point is that this character wants to explore the human world, get to see what the world has to offer, etc., as basically a dragon in disguise. And I am a big fan of that. I love adventure stories. Obviously, as I've already made it very clear, I want dragon stories. And so when I see this, I'm like, this is pretty cool. And most of the time when it comes to, dragons, etc., and stories, they're these mythical creatures that are evil, or this main obstacle that maybe the hero or whatever has to overcome. And that's what you assume when, you see this. But there's a lot more going on here. For one, obviously with the character being transformed into a human, they actually do not have their dragon-like strength. Yeah, that is a big thing that does need to be clarified, is that the character in question literally is just a plain human. They can't breathe fire as a human, they can't fly as a human. I mean, everything so far, it seems like, right now, in terms of just the physical nature, the character Aaron literally cannot do anything that a dragon can do. So, instantly, we don't have an OP character. That's a big thing, and I feel like this is going to play a huge part in the story going forward. Basically, that, the main character here, is in a weaker form, and if you kind of go into a human form and you're actually, discovered as a dragon, people are probably gonna hunt you. I mean, think about this in stories, okay? When you think about stories, when you think about, monsters, etc., and people going out to adventure, you slay a dragon for, like, their armor, their scales, basically their bones, etc., to make all sorts of weaponry and armor. This is stuff you see in many different types of storytelling. And so, when you see our, main character transform into a human, if someone was to find out that this individual is basically a human, or, a dragon turned into a human, it would probably lead to them being hunted, because they're obviously in a weaker state. So there's definitely some setup there if the story wants to go down that direction. Now, another thing, too, is that from the most part, in Chapter 2, we get introduction to basically Aaron's family, the mother, and their, like, great-great-grandpa and all that, this ancient dragon, as you can see, that's literally sitting in a lava lake. That's really freaking cool. But, anyways, this, basically gives us clarification that Aaron was someone that ran away from home and wanted to do their own thing and didn't just want to chill and sit in the mountain or whatever. They actually wanted to do their own thing, which kind of references why they're here in Chapter 1 doing their own thing. In Chapter 3, we get to see the innocence of Aaron. Basically how they, even though they're a dragon, they are very naive to the human world. And I want to make sure I clarify this. When it comes to dragons, usually they're evil, they're monsters, they don't care about humans, etc. They look at them as bugs, insects, etc. There's a lot of different literature and stuff about that. And obviously, Aaron as a character, he's not like that. He doesn't think humans are inferior or whatever. He's more fascinated about humans and wants to know more about the human world, etc. And he's just wandering around. And literally in Chapter 3, the first person that, this character meets, basically a human, sells him off into slavery. And it's like, wait, what? Excuse me? And obviously the character has no idea what that actually means and what it entails, etc. And it's the first time that the character has been deceived, lied to. And as it continues going on, you can see throughout the story that there's definitely setup that our main character is being used. That it's an innocent individual, a dragon that has this innocence and is not evil by any means, but people keep using our character Aaron for their own means, for what they want, and eventually I feel like it might sour the character's overall attitude towards maybe humanity. That's the general direction I think the story is at the very least going at this point in time, because of just the constant things you keep seeing built up that our character is being used. Now with episode 4, Chapter 4 of Carceran, we have to talk about how, Aaron was bought by this individual. This individual right here, which is basically a Knight of the Kingdom, he is a dragon slayer. And he tasked Aaron with dressing up and looking like a scapegoat slash impersonator of the princess of the kingdom. Now, for this reason, it isn't fully explained yet, especially even in Chapter 5, but basically, you could assume the reason why someone would need another person to look like them is through assassination attempts, etc. And so this can definitely lead to more of a darker atmosphere in the future, basically once again proving that, Carceran is going to be betrayed by someone or a human, and once again souring their mood towards humanity even more than it already is. I feel like we're just seeing the origin story of a dragon that was innocent becoming an evil dragon before the series is up. We might be even following a villain type story. That'd be really cool if that is the direction it wants to go. But let's get a little bit deeper. Now, when it comes to this character, the Dragon Slayer character, he's not really proud of being a Dragon Slayer. That's what's kind of elaborated on, is that he feels like he's not worthy of the title because it was by chance, by luck, that the dragon was slain in the first place, and that there was no business for them or any reason how they should have been able to kill the dragon, but they did by chance. So this lets us know that, really killing a dragon is definitely difficult. It's not something relatively easy in this world, and it's like something that you really, it's like just super rare. So obviously the fact is that there's probably not a lot of people that can even kill Aaron if Aaron turns back into a dragon. That is the big detail, at least we've gotten in these latest chapters. So overall, when it comes to this and like the stuff going on with like Chapter 5 and all that, I think that this series, there's a lot being set up here. I think a darker atmosphere and future for the story, especially with the impersonation of the princess, since we haven't got to see them. I feel like something will happen, maybe a death or whatever, but we'll know. We'll see, who knows. But yeah, I like this series. I legitimately like this. I'm very happy so many of you out there recommended this to me. I greatly appreciate it. If you're actually interested in reading this for yourself, I have the link in the description. Check it out, click it down below, and start it. It's good. I really, really recommend it. I mean, I mean, I've had a lot of fun with it. But okay, guys, I think I'll, leave the video at that. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like. It does help me out a lot. And with that, guys, be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.